Hello again, Tank here, and I'm just going to give you all a quick overview of basing an island defense, just because this was requested, so I'm just going to do a quick video. Shouldn't take very long, definitely not as long as the last one. So yeah, let's get into it. So, first of all, let's zoom out again. So this is a normal base layout, just a standard base layout in island defense. You have your walls, and then you have your turrets. And this might look like a lot, but there's a reason, because you don't do a whole lot of damage, and the Titan starts out with a lot of health. That's pretty much universal between island defense games, so nothing weird there. But the reason why I walled back further up here, as opposed to, let's say, walling out further like this, well, the Titan can kill these walls really easily, and he can kill them for basically free. He will take very little damage, only a few turrets at a time will be able to hit him. So that's why you wall further back and you do not wall very far out. The further into your base you can let Titan, while still having walls between you and him, the better, because that's just more time, more distance they have to walk, and it limits how much feed they can have. So anyway, this wall setup is pretty standard between any base with a square ramp like this. For a diagonal ramp, you can use a style like this. Notice again, my walls are further back up on the ramp, and I would have turrets all around here, including all the arms of the base normally. But I'll see a lot of players that wall out here. Just don't do that. It's a lot of feed, and feed is not good. So, another important thing to note, I have my supply back here, and the way supply works, if you see I currently have 107 out of 150 supply. If I were to kill two of these supply buildings, I'm not supply blocked. What that does, and this is true for pretty much all builders, well, let's see if it'll actually work, because technically I'm a Titan player, because I did hop into a solo game, so I don't think the trigger is active, and it is not. But if you are supply blocked, you will start to see all your units, except for your builder, and all your buildings will deal less damage. So when you have, let's say 150 supply out of 6, which is the absolute worst ratio you can have, if I were to just kill all these, I'd only have 6 supply available, and I'd be supply capped. I would only do half damage. And this is true for all builders, whether you're a base builder or a army builder, you will deal less damage if you are supply blocked. So you do need to have your supply up at all times. That's why the bases have as much room as they do. It's so you can accommodate all your supply buildings. Now then, another important thing to note, just as a kind of things to be aware of as a baser, the biggest one would be the Infestor's Nidus Worm ability, which lets him build a 2x2 structure in your base, and if it gets up, he can then pop out of it and kind of just ignore all your defenses. So let's say I were to build, so I built my supply in the back. This is just to take up space to prevent a Nidus Worm from popping up if the Titan were to have a Nidus Worm or have an Infestor to make a Nidus Worm. So put all my tech back here. Once this engineering base finished, I'll put my gold tech. Once this gold tech's building or is done, then I can build my advanced research center. And it just takes up more room. And just as long as I have my empty spaces in my base covered by turrets, like right up here, Titan could build a Nidus Worm, and I wouldn't notice it, or I'd notice it, but I might not be able to kill it in time. And so right over here, actually, I left a 2x2 space. A Nidus Worm could pop up there, and my supply does have an attack, but it would not be able to kill it. But on the other hand, there is nowhere for this Infestor to pop out of. If he were to build a Nidus Worm here, he would not be able to get out of it, which that's something I wouldn't bet on, but it is part of the game. You have to have room to unload, but just don't have those 2x2 spots in your base that aren't covered. I think that, and another thing to note, let's say I have all my workers just mining away, and I've just got a bunch of SCVs getting wood. If the Titan uses the Necro Scroll, which I'll bring my Titan to the shop, this will kill whenever the Titan kills a unit, spawns a zombie. And so if he were to nuke all my workers, they would all turn into zombies and they'd kill my stuff. The Titan would not receive any XP or gold from it, but it would just, if let's say they kill a whole bunch of workers, they could kill an important tech structure, just kind of mess with your stuff. And but just keep that in mind. And those are the two biggest threats to worry about as builder. So with those two things in mind, just make sure you have all your 2x2s covered. Oh, max supply. Let's just get rid of these. And you should get maybe 2 to 3 turrets covering each section of your base. So I'd probably build 2 more here. And now my entire base is covered. And right here, not a 2x2, so it's fine. So yeah, Nidus worms and the zombies are probably the 2 biggest things. So I'm going to go over real quick some weird bases. This base is kind of weird to wall. I do have 2 walls out front here, and then a few more on the high ground. And but pretty much every other base will take this wall setup or this wall setup. Another fun base, I have this one set up. So this base is pretty good if you don't have a whole lot of wood, because if you were to just put turrets on this high ground, your base would be pretty strong. But you would want to have walls, not necessarily back here, but I would have walls out front. And the reason being, this is where the majority of your damage comes from for this particular base. I would have walls back here just in case the Titan makes it past this point, but you do not want to rely on it being back here, because if the Titan's over here, not a lot of turrets can hit him. So you want to focus your damage being here and only rely on this as a backup. And then this base, also kind of weird wall, but you can just do a setup kind of like this and then have your entrance in and out. Something like that, and then just fill this whole thing in with turrets, and then you'd be able to come in and out through this little L shape here. So that just about does it for the bases themselves. As far as wood base locations, I'm gonna go over those real quick because well, not all of them, but the popular ones. This location here, have your workers, and then a warning wall out front here. Just make sure you block the paths coming into your base. To give you warning. This is another location, so you can fit 2 wood bases here, and then a warning wall out here, and then another warning wall here in this base, just to keep Titan from coming in and surprising you that way. Workers here for this wood base, walls here and there, wood base, a wall would be here and up here or here, and then some walls out front. Wood base, wall, wall, walls. Wood base, more walls here, workers, warning walls, workers, warning walls, workers, these 3 warning walls for this base, workers here, warning wall, and then this one is important because if Titan were to kill this tree, I can ping it, I can't ping it, and then this tree right here, there we go, he can walk up and down this ramp right here. So this is also a choke point, so you can use this to get away from Titan, but he can kill these trees. Jake takes him 10 seconds a tree, so just build a wall here just to be safe. And then also you should probably put another wall up here. Just completely skipped my mind when I was making this. And then workers, wall, 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 just to keep an eye on these rocks. This kind of protects you at the start, but you do want to keep vision of it. Workers here, 2 warning walls. Hello, kitty. My cat's bothering me. And another warning wall right here. Workers, walls, workers, and wall. And that's not all of them. Those are just the most popular ones. You could also make workers along here and then a warning wall there and there. I've seen people do that. But as long as there's a group of trees and you can wall the paths leading to it, that's a good place to work on. And well, yeah, that should do it. Let's just cover base layout and things to watch out for, like Infestor's Nidus Worm. And yeah, good luck, have fun.